Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another Star Wars action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the newest wave of Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figures, which I don't know the exact number of this wave, but I'm just going to call it the Bad Batch wave, as it is dominated by, with the majority of the figures being from the Bad Batch. Also a couple other characters. We got a Clone Wars character and a Mandalorian character, which you can all see in front of you here. I decided to do an overview of the wave instead of doing a full individual reviews for each of them. But yeah, this is a really solid wave. Like, this might be one of the best Black Series waves in a while. And to be fair, that's saying something, because the previous waves, recent waves, have all been really good. The last wave, which was pretty much a Mandalorian wave, had a bunch of characters essential from that, like Kuiil, Grief Karga, and Moff Gideon. And then the wave before that had like the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, had the Cad Bane from the Clone Wars. I think that's the wave that had the Armorer as well, and the Incinerator Stormtrooper, a lot of really good figures there. And then even before that is, I think before that one was the first wave with the new box, and had like the Beskar Mandalorian and all those other stuff, the Admiral Akbar, the new Darth Vader and all that. So it's been really good for Black Series so far, and we've got a lot of characters here I'm really happy to see in the Black Series line. And honestly, some of these figures might very well be some of my favorite Black Series figures in recent memory of all time, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, we'll just move right on in. I think we'll cover the Bad Batch figures first. I'll just move these guys off to the side. And I'm going to start with what is probably the least interesting figure of the wave. Still a really good figure, but definitely the least interesting. It is the Elite Squad Trooper, which is an interesting figure if it wants to focus. Wants to focus in on the guys in the back. But he's an interesting figure because, for a few reasons. He is the one with the most reuse, but he's actually a reuse of a couple different Clone Trooper figures. Oh my god, come on, focus. There we go. He is reused of a couple different figures. He has the, from the, I think, crotch up, he is the new Clone Trooper mold, but the legs are actually taken from the old Clone Trooper mold. As you can see, they have the double pins. The new one is a single hinge, which is pretty interesting. And this guy turned out really good. Like, you know, he's the most reused. He's definitely probably the quote-unquote least interesting figure in the wave, at least for me. He's still really cool. I love this Shadow Trooper sort of look to him, and he's actually interesting. On the back of the package, it says he's a recruited soldier. He's not a so it sounds like he's not a Clone Trooper. He's just a guy, a soldier recruited, and wears Clone Trooper armor, which I think is a cool concept. I'm interested to see what these guys do in the show, but one thing that pops right out for me with this guy is the helmet. As far as I know, it is the same sculpt as the new Clone Trooper mold, but this, for whatever reason, turned out way better. The shape looks so much better. It looks really good. It's not smushed in. The other figures, it looks like the faces have been like hidden with a shovel or something. This one's not smushed in. I love the green lenses, and it just looks really good and imposing. I might actually, if I ever see this guy on for retail and on any websites, or if I see him in stores, if I'm lucky enough to find any of these figures in stores and see this guy on the shelves, I might pick up another one, because I really like how these guys look. And yeah, he's got this dark, it's not really black, it's like a really dark gray, and then he's got the black undersuit, which I think looks good. But yeah, it's a pretty simple repaint, nothing too crazy, no crazy details or battle damage or anything like that. But he looks really good. And the articulation's pretty good. You know, you got all the range of motion. The shoulders work well. They got the pliable shoulders here. So they go over the shoulder there. And he even has the built-in butterfly joints. Although I will say you get a bit of shifting movement, which is useful, but it's not a ton. You get the single hinge of the elbows move decently. He's got the good wrist hinge, so you can actually hold the gun in good ways, and you can actually get him in pretty decent aiming poses, which is always good. You know, you get the good range at the torso, the hips move well, you know, double hinges at the knees move pretty good. And I think this is kind of like their go-to. This would be, I think, how they should do all the future Clone Trooper figures. Honestly, the amalgamation of the old and new, I think, has created the best out of the bunch. He looks really good. I actually really like how this guy looks. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this figure, I'll be honest. When I first picked up, I thought I was actually going to pass on this guy, but I'm happy I didn't. I actually like him a lot. And just to give you a quick little look, I do have one of the old. This is the only figure of the new mold I have. It's the Camino clone, and you can just take a look. You can just see the difference in the helmets, or hopefully you can see the difference in the helmets. This one's not bad. This Camino one's not bad, but it is definitely like it's flatter. You can tell it's flatter in the face. It's a bit more pliable. This one's a lot more sturdier and rigid. It's not going to warp. This one's warped out. So I'm thinking that this helmet is the same mold. It just didn't get all warped out, and this was what it's supposed to look like. So I wish all of these didn't get all warped out. Still looks okay, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about this guy. He's really good. I actually really like him a lot. So yeah, he's cool. I like him. Hopefully he stands. We'll keep on with the Bad Batch and take a look at Hunter. And I'm a fan of the Bad Batch. They're pretty cool. I definitely don't, like them as much as other commandos. Delta Squad is what comes to mind there. But I like their episodes, and I like the characters, and these faction figures make me like the characters a lot more, make me even more excited for the show. I was already excited for it, but yeah, I really like these guys. We have Hunter here, we have Crosshair, we're getting Wrecker as a deluxe figure, and Tech has been teased. So I can't wait to have the whole group all together. But yeah, this is really good. Him and Crosshair share some parts. And they share the arms, the lower torso, and the legs. They are wearing commando armor, so I think Hunter's like pretty standard size commando. So they could easily do some little modifications and probably reuse this and do a standard clone commando, which I'd really love to see. Anyways, the armor looks really good. It's got all these scrapes and dings in the sculpt. There's some silver for different scuffages of the paint job and whatnot, which looks really good. I really like how this guy looks a lot. They're not super dirty, but they definitely got they've seen some battle, which is really awesome. Really like the helmet. This Phase 2, kind of unique Phase 2 look, looks really good. It's got the backpack, which is nice and secure on there. It's got the knife. You can take the knife out of the sheath, which is a really awesome accessory. I really like that a lot. I like it when trooper figures come with different weapons that aren't just guns. He's got the commando rifle, which is really cool. It is kind of small, but it's kind of small in the show, so it is accurate when it comes to the show, but I wish it was bigger, just a little bit. It's still not a bad size. Not like it doesn't look too off, but I definitely think it should be bigger. But that's cool. We got the commando rifle. He also does come with the pistol. Unfortunately, there is no spots on this figure to store any of the guns. It would have been cool if maybe the backpack opened or something. You put the pistol in there, and maybe because he has the ammo clip there, there would have been a tab in the rifle. I think that would have been cool, but not a big deal. And you can pop off the helmet and have that pretty awesome looking Hunter head sculpt and face printing there. The face printing really is done really well. It brings it to life. Kind of looks animated, but also with the face printing gives that realism to the eyes. So I think it fits in the Black Series collection really well. He's got the bandana with the little skull there, which looks really cool. And the tattoos or face paint, I don't know exactly what that's supposed to be. Tattoos or face paint, one of the two, I think also looks really good. He's got these nice little 99 emblems and all that. The engineering in the shoulders uses the same engineering as the new Stormtrooper mold. It's the flexible plastic with the ring sandwiched between the torso and the joints, so you can actually rotate the shoulder or the shoulder armor with the shoulder, which is really good. Sometimes you may have to rotate the armor back into place, but not a big deal. I really like that engineering. And articulation, he's got really good ankle pivot, or not ankle pivot, a neck pivot and rotation going on there. You've got the shoulder armor. Shoulders go up quite a bit past 90, and you do have some butterfly, but there's not a ton going on there. The single hinges move past 90, which is really good for gun poses, and he has the proper hinges for holding the gun, which is always good. Really good torso joint. The hip joints work really well. Like, he has pretty good splits. Rotations where you need them. Ankle pivots, ankle hinges work really well. One thing that is sort of strange is, for some reason, you kind of set spots for the leg. They go into set spots, so it's like that, almost like a ratchet joint. You can get them between the clicks if you really work it, but it is a little annoying, but it's not too big of a deal. I do like Hunter a lot, though. He is pretty cool. But I like Hunter. I might like Crosshair even more. And he is kind of like the edgy sniper of the group. And he's definitely the Sev of the group, for sure. Or he's very similar anyways. And again, he has mostly the same parts. He does have a different torso. It is more slim, which is nice that there's just those little subtle changes in the anatomy of each character, which is very cool. Yeah, he has, it's like a lot of the same stuff. He has different shoulder plates as well. He's got this kind of weird blade thing on there. Yeah, again, just looks really good. Not a whole lot. A lot of this is the same. Does have a different backpack because he has weapon storage. You do get a pistol, and it does go in the holster really well. He has this big honking sniper rifle, which is awesome. You can get pretty decent aiming poses, not like absolutely perfect, but you can get them pretty close. That's pretty damn close. That looks really good. I'm really happy, especially considering how big this gun is. It might have turned out that he couldn't hold it well, but he does, so that's awesome. He even has a bit better. The butterfly in his torso is actually a little better. You can move the rangefinder, which is awesome. And you can pop off the helmet, and he has a really, really good head sculpt and face printing. That looks really good. The tattoo and the eyes and the expression. Kind of that more cold stare. I really like that a lot. I like it more than Hunter's. I really love this. I think that looks awesome. And I do like the design of the helmet as well. I'll keep the helmet off actually, but just put it back there. And then yeah, for the weapon storage, you can actually, let's take the rifle out of his hand here. You can actually split the rifle into two pieces. And then you can, I don't know if there's a specific way, but you can, yeah, you slot the that part in. There's a peg on the side, or peg hole on the side, and you peg in the barrel on the side like that, and you can store the gun. And the weight doesn't add, he can still stand. You might have to lean him forward just a little bit, but he stands pretty good. He's got the gun stored on his back there. So I really like that a lot. That's awesome. So yeah, Crosshair's a really awesome figure. Really like him a lot. He actually might be on my top 10 figures of all time that I own, because he is really good. I really like him. I'll go on with the Clone Wars character next, which is a figure. I think actually this is my first Asajj Ventress figure. I don't have any of the 3 3/4 inch ones, and they have never made a 6 inch one. So yeah, I'm really happy to have this character in the collection. She looks really nice with the Count Dooku figure from last year. And they look really good together. I'll definitely be displaying them together. And yeah, she is really nice. That head sculpt and face printing looks really good. I got lucky and got one that has pretty good, clean, straight applications, which is really nice. The eyes might be missing the mark just a little bit, but for the most part, it looks really good. She's a fair amount of new sculpting as well. I believe the forearms and the legs are taken from that dark gray from last wave, which I never got. For some reason, that character is really popular. You know, you hear a lot of people hate on the sequels, but that figures might actually be the most popular and hard to find figure that wave. Kind of interesting. But anyways, yeah, she looks really good. She's in her original Clone Wars, 3D Clone Wars outfit, which is fine. It's probably the most recognizable for people who watch the show, probably. I would have preferred her later costume, where it's the one that's more based on the Tartakovsky look. I think in season 3 or 4 or something like that. I can't remember. But that's okay. She looks really good. She's got the soft goods skirt, which is much better than plastic. It's much more natural looking when you're trying to get the dynamic poses, which you're going to want to probably do with this character. She's a fairly dynamic and acrobatic character. She comes with the 2 curved hilt lightsabers, which are awesome. I always love the design of her lightsabers. You can remove the blades. The blades are a nice deep red, which is really good. They have a couple features. You can actually peg them together at the pommels. I think that's the correct terminology, and actually give her the double-bladed lightsaber, which is very cool. I think she literally only does this once, and I'm pretty sure it's the beginning of this series in the movie. I don't think she ever does it again. But still a very cool feature that I believe most 3 3/4 inch figures have always had that feature. So it's pretty cool they implemented it. And it's quite secure. It's not just like a soft connection. It's quite, secure for the most part. She also has pegs on the side, so you want to remove the blades. I'm just going to do it with the one, but she has 2 peg holes on the belt buckle. You can actually store the lightsabers like she does in the show on the front of her belt, which works really well. Posability wise, she's also quite good. She has mostly all the articulation that you would want. The arms have good range. You know, the head is a little limited, more limited than I would have expected, but there's 2 points of articulation there. It moves pretty good. The torso is decent. The legs move really well, and obviously not intentionally, but this plastic part on the front of the skirt actually helps to kind of give her balance. If you have her lean forward a bit, it'll keep her standing up without looking too weird, which is useful, honestly. The only thing I don't like with the articulation is they gave her the in and out wrist hinges when she really needs the up and down ones. She's a lightsaber wielder. It makes no sense why she doesn't have the up and down ones for both wrists. The in and out ones are basically useless for this figure, for this character, which is really unfortunate. But beside that, this is a really great character that I'm really happy to add to the collection. I think they translated the animation to a more realistic look really well. We're getting some real banger Clone Wars characters in the Black Series, honestly. Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress. There's a bunch more I'd love to see, but I'm glad we're getting some of these really big characters. They're both 2 of the kind of main villains of the series, so really happy to get her. Really happy to get her, especially considering I love collecting the Darksiders. But last one, the Mandalorian character, / you could probably use this in the Clone Wars display if you wanted to, because I don't know how much her armor really changed. It is Bo-Katan, which I know probably a lot of people, including myself, are excited for. And she's, yeah, really good. You know, there's nothing... it's a solid, again, a really solid figure. The paint apps and sculpted detail with the armor and the suit underneath looks really good. She's got some dirt and scuff going on. Not as much as the Bad Batch boys, but she does have it. She's got the Night Owl logo, or I think that's the Night Owl logo there on the shoulder. The jetpack there, you can remove that if you want to. It's fairly secure on there. You got some paint apps where the rocket is, or the Whistling Birds is. She might have that too. It looks like the Whistling Birds launcher. She comes with the pistols, the Mandalorian style pistols. They are actually different from the Sabine pistols. They're a bit smaller, and they do have painted grips, which is always appreciated, and you can holster them securely into the holsters here. You know, remove the rangefinder. I've always been a fan of the design of Bo-Katan's helmet. I think it looks really good. You can take it off. You do have a head sculpt here, which is face printed, and I think the face and head looks pretty good for the most part. I think there is something off with it, and I think it's the hair that's throwing me off. In the Mandalorian, unless I'm mistaken, her hair seems to go out, like poof out a little more, and it's also a darker orange, like almost a reddish. Here it is a bright orange, and it's much flatter, which does help to put on the helmet, but it looks a lot more reminiscent to the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels than it does the Mandalorian, the show itself. So, yeah, that's a little thing that may not be the most accurate, but it still looks good, right? I like it. It looks good. And again, posability on her. Put the helmet back on because I actually prefer with the helmet on. You know, you get all the posability you'd want. You can aim her gun. You get the torso articulation. The torso part, this is actually a rubber overlay, which is pretty cool. So it allows for a bit more extra articulation you might not get otherwise. But yeah, you can pose her, do all the posing stuff, you know. That's pretty dynamic, I'd say. So that's really cool. And that's pretty much it. I actually will, here she is just really quick. I don't have the Beskar Mandalorian Black Series figure. I have the SH Figuarts. I didn't want to get it down from my display. But here's the Durasteel one, which people like calling this one the Durasteel one. So there's that. They look pretty cool together. Although he never looks like that when they're together. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I've already run this video for 18 minutes, so I think it's time to wrap it up. But like I said, I think this is definitely a super solid wave. If you are into collecting the characters from the TV shows, because these are all from TV shows, you know, definitely recommend them. You know, there's something here for a lot of different people. Asajj Ventress for dark side character collectors / Clone Wars fans. You have Bo-Katan for a lot of different people. You know, Mandalorian mainly, but also Clone Wars and Rebels, that works for that as well, which is awesome. Clone Wars and Bad Batch fans, Clone Trooper fans will probably want Crosshair and Hunter. I personally, and the Elite Squad Trooper, I personally cannot recommend them enough. I think they are all really solid. All these guys are really good. And yeah, it's a really solid wave. I'd highly recommend, honestly, all of these figures. I don't usually complete whole waves. There's usually a couple of figures, or maybe even half of a wave I won't get because I just don't need the characters, don't have any interest in the characters. But this whole wave, I would totally recommend all of them. They're all really good. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next one.